In 1944, from a quiet coastal town in Northern California, she sent him one last letter. And then she waited. Weeks became months. The war ended. Victory parades filled the streets, but he never came home. For 28 years, she held on to a hope that the world told her to abandon. Until one spring morning in 1972, a letter appeared on her doorstep, yellowed with age, sealed in an envelope marked "Return to Sender." Inside were his final words, and when she read them, she didn't just cry. She collapsed, not from grief alone, but from the unbearable beauty of a love that had survived war, silence, and nearly 30 decades of waiting.
Santa Rosa, California. Summer of the war had only just begun to touch American soil, not with bombs, but with departures. Every week, another son, another husband, another sweetheart boarded a train, heading east, toward bases, toward Europe, toward uncertainty. But for Evelyn Carter, a 24-year-old schoolteacher with dark curls and a voice that could quiet a room full of children, the war still felt distant, until it wasn't. She taught third grade at Lincoln Elementary. Her students adored her. She was patient, kind, and possessed a quiet strength that made people feel safe, even when the world outside was anything but. And then there was James Halpern, Jimmy, to everyone who knew him, 26 years old, a mechanic by trade, a dreamer by nature. He'd grown up 3 blocks from Evelyn, spent his childhood climbing the same oak trees, swimming in the same creek. But it wasn't until the summer of 41 that he finally worked up the courage to ask her to dance at the county fair. She said yes. And for 1 year, they lived in a kind of fragile bliss. Picnics by the Russian River, late-night drives under star-filled skies, letters exchanged even when they were only blocks apart, love letters written just because. Jimmy's conversation. Dear Eve, I know I'll see you tomorrow, but I couldn't sleep without telling you. You make the world feel smaller and bigger at the same time. Smaller because when I'm with you, nothing else matters. Bigger because suddenly I want to see everything, do everything, just so I can tell you about it. Yours always, Jimmy. December 7th, 1942. Exactly 1 year after Pearl Harbor, Jimmy enlisted. Not out of anger or revenge, but out of duty. He believed in something bigger than himself, believed that if he didn't go, someone else's brother would have to. Someone else's love would be interrupted. The night before he left, they sat on her porch until dawn. She didn't ask him not to go. She knew better. Instead, she made him promise something else. Evelyn's conversation. Promise me you'll write every Sunday, no matter where you are. Jimmy's conversation. Every Sunday. That's my word, Eve. And then he was gone. She stood on that platform until the train disappeared into the hills. And when she finally walked home, the world felt emptier than it ever had. Evelyn's diary. December 8th. He's been gone 1 day, and already the house feels too quiet. I keep listening for his knock on the door. I keep expecting him to appear around the corner, grinning like he's just played some wonderful trick. But he won't. Not for a long time. So I'll do what he asked. I'll wait, and I'll write every Sunday. For the first 6 months, the letters came faithfully. Every Sunday like clockwork. Sometimes they were short, just a few lines scribbled in a tent or a barracks. Other times they were pages long, filled with stories, jokes, observations. Jimmy's conversation. Dear Eve, Texas is hotter than hell, and I mean that literally. I think my boots melted into the tarmac yesterday. The boys here are good, Loud, messy, but good. We talk about home a lot. I told them about you, about how you can make a terrible day feel like nothing with just one smile. I miss you. I miss California. I miss the way the fog rolls in at dawn and the way you hum when you're cooking. Keep writing to me, Eve. Your letters are the only thing keeping me sane. All my love. Jimmy. She kept every one. And she wrote back, just as faithfully. She told him about her students, about the Victory Gardens she'd started, about the movies she saw at the Rialto. She sent him photographs, her standing in front of the schoolhouse, laughing with friends at a church social. Life continued. The war dragged on. But their love remained constant, tethered across thousands of miles by ink and paper. Spring. Jimmy had been overseas for nearly 2 years. He'd been deployed to England, then North Africa, then Italy. His letters still came, but they'd changed. Jimmy's conversation. Dear Eve, I'm sorry this is short. We're moving again tomorrow. I can't say where. I wish I could tell you everything, but they won't let me. Just know I'm safe. I'm thinking of you. Write to me. Please. Your letters are all I have left of home. Yours, Jimmy. She noticed the shift immediately. The humor was gone. The stories had stopped. The letters felt hollow, like he was writing them because he had to, not because he wanted to. And then, one Sunday, no letter came. She told herself it was the mail. War slowed everything down. Packages got lost. Letters took weeks, sometimes months. Evelyn's diary, May 14th. It's been 3 Sundays. I know the post is slow. I know he's busy. But the silence is starting to feel heavy, like something's pressing down on my chest, and I can't breathe. I keep rereading his old letters. I've memorized every word, every joke, every promise. I just need one more, just one more to know he's okay. While she waited, he fought. In the summer of 1944, Jimmy's squadron was deployed to support the Allied invasion of France. The missions were brutal. Long hours, little sleep, constant danger. He wrote when he could. In the cockpit, between missions, by candlelight in freezing barracks. But the letters didn't always make it out. Communication lines were severed. Mail routes were bombed. Jimmy's conversation. Dear Eve, I don't know if you're getting these anymore. I hope you are. I hope you're still waiting. The sky here is nothing like California. It's gray, cold, but sometimes, when the sun breaks through the clouds, I close my eyes and pretend I'm back on that pier with you.
I'm tired, Eve.
So tired. But I keep going because I made you a promise. Every Sunday, even if you never see these words, I'll keep writing them. I love you. Always. Jimmy. August 12th. After weeks of silence, a letter finally arrived. Jimmy's conversation. Dear Eve, I'm sorry I haven't written. Things have been complicated. But I'm okay. I promise. We're headed somewhere new soon. I can't say where, but I have a good feeling about it. The boys say the war's almost over. Maybe by Christmas, we'll all be home. When the sky clears, I'll be back on that pier. Save me a dance. All my love, Jimmy. She believed him. She believed the war was almost over. She believed he'd come home. Evelyn's conversation. Dear Jimmy, I'll save you 1,000 dances. I'll save you every sunset in every Sunday morning. Just come home. I love you more than words can say. Yours forever. Eve. Weeks passed. Then months. No more letters came. She tried calling the War Department. They had no information. Missing in action, they said. Or perhaps his mail was simply delayed. Evelyn's conversation. November 3rd. I don't know if he's alive. I don't know if he ever got my last letter. I don't know if he's thinking of me right now, or if he's gone. The not knowing is worse than anything. Worse than grief. Because I can't mourn someone I'm still hoping for. May 8th, 1945. Victory in Europe. The war was over. The boys were coming home. She waited for the knock on her door, for the telegram, for the sound of his voice calling her name. Weeks became months, and still no word. By the end of 1945, most families knew they'd received telegrams, letters, condolences, but Evelyn had nothing. 1946, the town moved on. Soldiers returned to their jobs. Weddings filled the churches. Babies were born. 1950, her friends urged her to move on, to meet someone new, to stop waiting for a ghost. 1955, her hair began to gray. Lines formed at the corners of her eyes. But every night, she still wrote in her diary, and every Sunday, she still thought of him. 1960, her students grew up. Some had children of their own. The world kept spinning, but Evelyn remained still, trapped in 1944, waiting for a man who might never return. She never stopped checking the mailbox. Not once. Because part of her, the part that refused to let go, still believed that one day an answer would come. 28 years had passed since his last letter. And then on a Tuesday morning in April, everything changed. April 18th, the Santa Rosa post office was undergoing renovations. In the basement, behind a broken filing cabinet, workers discovered something no one expected: a forgotten mailbag from 28 years, dozens of letters, lost in bureaucracy, buried beneath decades of paperwork, and among them, a single envelope addressed to Miss Evelyn Carter, 412 Maple Street, Santa Rosa, California. The knock. Softly. Miss Carter? Evelyn, confused. Yes, postal worker. I have something for you. It was lost. For a very long time. Evelyn, whisper. That's his handwriting. Postal worker. I'm so sorry it took this long. For several minutes, she couldn't open it. Because once she did, the last piece of him, the last words he'd ever meant for her, would be real and final. And then, after 28 years of silence, she heard his voice again. Jimmy's conversation. Soft, weary, but full of love. My dearest Eve, if you're reading this, it means I didn't make it home. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I don't know what happens next. Maybe you've moved on. Maybe you found someone who can give you the life I couldn't. I hope you have. You deserve every happiness this world can offer. But I need you to know something. When I close my eyes, I'm not here. I'm not in this cold, gray place, surrounded by smoke and fear. I'm back on that pier with you. I'm holding your hand. I'm watching the sunset over the water, and you're laughing at some terrible joke I just made. That's where I am. That's where I'll always be. My last thought won't be fear, Eve. It'll be you. The way the wind caught your hair the day I left. The way you smelled like lavender in summer. The way you made me believe I could be something more than I was. I kept my promise. I wrote every Sunday, even when I didn't know if the letters would reach you, even when I was too tired to hold the pen, because you asked me to, and I'd never break a promise to you. Don't mourn too long, my love. Live, laugh, dance, do all the things we talked about. And when you do, know that somewhere, wherever I am, I'm dancing with you. I love you, Evelyn Carter. I loved you the moment I saw you, and I'll love you long after this world has forgotten my name. Yours always, Jimmy. She didn't scream. She didn't wail. She simply broke. 28 years of hope, fear, and unanswered questions collapsed in an instant, and in their place, a truth she'd always known, but refused to accept. He was gone. He'd been gone since, but his love, that had never left. She stayed in that chair until the sun set. And when darkness finally came, she whispered 5 words into the quiet. Evelyn, barely audible. You kept your promise, Jimmy. For the first time in 28 years, Evelyn Carter stopped waiting. Evelyn Carter lived another 12 years after that day. She never married. She never left Santa Rosa. But she stopped writing letters to a man who couldn't write back. Instead, she wrote about him, about love, about the cost of waiting, about what it means to hold on to hope when the world gives you every reason to let go. When she passed away in 1984, her family found the letter exactly where she'd left it, beside his photograph, edges softened by years of being held. Today, that letter is preserved in the Santa Rosa Historical Society. Thousands of visitors come each year to read it, to remember, to understand that love doesn't always get its happy ending, but sometimes it gets something more powerful, a promise kept, across time, across silence, across death itself. Evelyn's conversation. He kept his promise. He came home, not in the way I hoped, but in the way that mattered most. His words, his love, his memory, that will never leave me. Some wars end, but the waiting, the love, the memory, those echoes never truly fade.